Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for another video. We're going to talk about Bitcoin today. Finally, this is nice. This is something new. It's what is this? A green day? When's the last time we've seen something like this? And so, okay, good. Bitcoin is pumping. And so what are we seeing? What am I seeing as far as the charts are concerned? And pay no attention to coin360.com right now. All right, there we go. Now you can pay attention to it. But here's some things that I want to address. I want to just make a quick video. I'm slammed today, and I wish that I had more time that I could go live to make TikToks, whatever else. But guys, we were long overdue for a pump like this. There's just so many things that I could point to, and if you've watched my videos, you know you've seen everything, every argument that I've made to explain why we were long overdue for a pump like this. So many on-chain indicators showed bottoming patterns, and the biggest thing that I've always pointed out to is the gap between short-term holders and long-term holders. Long-term holders own much more Bitcoin than short-term holders do. And that when this happens, that's usually at a period that signifies something like a bear market bottom. So we were due for a pump. There's other things, bullish divergences that I could point to, and I will point to that in a second. On the other hand, there is a ton of resistance ahead of us, above us, I should say, with Bitcoin. Fib levels, EMAs, SMAs, it's unlikely we'll just waltz through, but it is nice to finally see some movement. I mean, my goodness, between November 10th and January 24th, it was what? 2.5 months of what it just felt like a constant downtrend. And trend reversal confirmed. What is this new stage that we're in? We'll see. You know, could there be some kind of an explosion, a melt up, like some people are saying that's on the radar, or could this be a so-called dead cat bounce? I don't know. But one thing I do know, let's talk about the things we know. There is a lot of resistance between where we are now and let me say $60,000 for example. So then, you know, a lot of resistance between where we are now and a new all-time high. So let's take a look at this real quick on just a simple trading view chart. I have fib levels drawn out, and I have the bull market support band. The green line right here is the 21 weekly EMA. The red line is the 20-week SMA. Those are going to be some heavy resistance. The 200-week simple moving average is going to be heavy resistance. That's a little bit above the 21-week EMA. And somewhere between the 21-week EMA and the 20-week SMA is the 200-week simple moving average. That is going to also be heavy resistance. And then there's other moving averages that we could look at that just, is it a thing, should I say, confirmation bias? It's a point where people are targeting as to where they're going to take some money off the table. And so, first of all, I mean, the thing that I do want to point out is that we had a CME futures close at $40,600. We have not gone back down to that level since the Friday close, which was at 5 p.m. Eastern time. There is a time coming when we are going to go back down to that level. There's a 99+% chance that we will go back down to $40,600. Whether that's in a few hours, a few days, a few weeks, even a few months, that time is coming. I mean, there was a CME futures gap at $32,000, and it took several months to get there. It took from August or July, late July, until January 24th to fill that CME futures gap. A large majority of the time, the CME futures gap is filled. There is a CME futures gap at $3,000. Unless the internet is shut off, we're never going to fill that. But 99+% of weeks where we have a CME futures close, we fill the gap. I would expect that to happen at some point. Whether it's days or weeks or months, we will see $40,600 Bitcoin again. Who knows? Maybe we'll go to $200,000 and then go back down to $40,600. My guess My honest guess is that we would fill it sooner rather than later. So what does that mean? I'm seeing resistance at $45,000. I think that that's going to be a difficult level to break through because we've spent very little time there. We've spent very little time at $44,000. There isn't much of a building up of Bitcoin price action around $45,000. And so that's going to be a difficult one to break through. And then after that, this level right here, follow my mouse, the 0.382 fib along with the 21 weekly EMA, that is a combination level resistance. The 21 week EMA is going to be a hard resistance. You might as well, honestly, I mean, I hate to say it like this, if I were a trader, I would open up a short at $46,700 and I would be more confident about that short making me money than at pretty much than I've been in a long time. I am very, very confident that there will be some kind of a rejection there. How far down do we go after that rejection? I don't know. Maybe, we get up to $46,700. If we do that we're going to go lower. And so maybe back down to this 216 fib, which is at 41,181, or maybe we just fill the CME futures gap at $40,600. But there's going to be a rejection there. I'm very confident about that. And then next level up, you see the same thing happening. This is really interesting, but the 0.5 fib level and the 20-week simple moving average, there is going to be heavy resistance there. That's going to be another double resistance. If we get up to that level anytime soon within the week, let's say we get rejected at the 21-week EMA and that fib level there, go down a little bit, maybe not all the way down to $40,600, but $43,000, $42,000, something like that. And then we bounce up, we test that level again, but we break through. This level is going to be very heavy resistance. And again, so we need to do the work to get through there. And then the 618 is going to be very heavy resistance. The 702, which I don't have on this fib chart, is going to be very heavy resistance. That's around $57,000, $58,000. And so, excuse me there for a second, there's a minefield of resistance, and it's going to take time. And so, let's celebrate the fact that this was a V-shaped recovery, that Bitcoin had no business being in the 30s. It shouldn't have been there. I think it's just people were too disillusioned. They were too disillusioned from the fact that we didn't hit six figures by the end of 2021. And so they convinced themselves, short-term holders in particular, convinced themselves, okay, well, I guess we're going into a full-blown bear market. So they dumped hard and we went to the 30s. But I think the strength that we're seeing right now, in my opinion, is some kind of confirmation that if you see Bitcoin in the 30s again, which it is possible, I would even say maybe it's likely that we're going to see Bitcoin in the 30s again, that's a time to just scoop it up. Don't worry. Don't worry about trying to perfectly time the dip and getting it at the lowest possible level. I think it's more likely, more than 50-50, that we're going to see 30s again. And I would say, again, sooner rather than later. And if that's the case, any dry powder I have sitting on the sidelines, I'm going to put it in. And I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about trying to time it. Because I do think, I was at $35,000. After the 24th, we got up to $35,000. I saw that whales were starting to buy again. And I was like, okay, I've been a crab since December 2nd. I was a crab from December 2nd till about January 27th. I am a bull now. And I am still a bull. I'm just saying resistance. There is lots and lots of resistance. And so, man, I've had this chart in mind for so long, but the bullish divergence between what we're seeing with the price going down but illiquid supply going up, that is a massive gap between the two. So could we just have some kind of a melt up? And this isn't the only thing I would point to. I would point to rising hash rate versus the price going down. I would point to several other things. Is there a possibility for just Bitcoin? It's going to feel like a melt up, but really it's Bitcoin getting back to fair value. There is very much a possibility of that. So maybe we just blow through these levels. But if there is a point to take profits, $47,000, a little under $47,000. If there's another point to take profits, $50,000. But Bitcoin, the idea that Bitcoin needs to get back to a fair value and the $30,000 range being a very unfair value, and I would say the low 40,000s and maybe even upper 40,000s not being a fair value for Bitcoin, and that for it to revert to the mean, it needs to at least get to the 50s. That is on my radar. It's just we've got to see. I want to see what long-term holders do at the 0.5 in the 618. I really want to see that. I think for the most part they're going to hold, and the 702, but I would assume that there's a small grouping of them who are going to look at that as an opportunity to exit. The question is how many of them, how much of the long-term holders will exit at that time. My guess is it's not going to be a significant amount. They weren't really even all that interested in selling at $69,000. They weren't interested in selling when we got to up to $52,000 after that flash crash on December 4th. And so where's their selling point? I think for those long-term holders, I think for a lot of them, it's higher than $69,000. We'll see. So many things, so many potential factors. There's probably a time when I am going to become a short-term bear. I hate to say it like that. Short-term, but medium and long-term, I am bullish. And so let's see how this plays out. But that is all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section, and I will be back more so in full force tomorrow. Mondays are difficult days for me, and I'm kind of scrambling around trying to put a video together. But now I have to help my son with his homework before taking him to wrestling practice. So I will see you in another video, and like, subscribe, all that stuff. See you tomorrow. Peace.